Alright, so I had this 1873 here. I shot it quite a few times, probably, I don't know, 50, 100 rounds through it since I first bought it. But I found the hammer spring to be way too stiff, which would cause the lever to be really stiff. So I'll show you guys a super, quick remedy to that. It doesn't require any extra parts. You don't have to go out to buy anything. Only thing you'll need is there's just one screwdriver, and you should be okay to do this little modification. And you could adjust the spring tension as much as you want. I know a lot of people go out to buy stuff and it gets quite expensive for cowboy action shooting, and then you have to switch out all the springs and whatnot. Well, this method doesn't require anything, just a screwdriver. So now you just flip the rifle to the side. You need to open the action, and then this screw here, and then this screw here. The first smaller one is the mainspring tension screw, pretty much what causes the tension in the whole rifle for the hammer, and then it catches onto the trigger spring, but whatever. So the hammer spring / mainspring tension screw, and then this is the mainspring screw itself, so the screw that keeps it bolted down to the tang. So you don't need to do anything, you don't have to take the stock off or anything, but I will, just for you guys to understand what's happening when I'm playing around with these screws. Stock's off now, and I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but inside here, so the screw right there at the top of the mainspring, that is the big screw that I showed you guys before, the one right under here. That's the mainspring screw, and then right about here underneath, which you can't see, is a tension screw. So common practice, once you get a rifle of any kind, you get it and then you check if all the screws are loose, stuff like that, and then you just tighten them all down when some are loose. Well, these screws aren't meant to be all the way tightened. You could see that they're unscrewed and they aren't protruding out this side. They're not coming out of this side. So they recessed the tang especially for this. So if I could go around the camera, and now you see how the action is right now. I'm trying to go around the camera here, but it's pretty smooth. It's not too hard to work with. Now I'll open it again. I'll tighten the mainspring screw just a little bit. This one, I know mine, you see how loose it is. I already messed around with it. I could tighten it, I could leave it loose. This one, this rifle is about, approaching 150, 200 years old. So, I guess the screw got used up a little bit, so it's not really used for anything. But now I tightened it up. I'll close it again. The proper way to do this is with snap caps to see if they are, if you're getting light primer strikes or not. But now I'm trying, and this thing is super hard. So this might be what your rifle feels like. That's how mine felt like. So I'll open it once more. Now I'll just start unscrewing it a little bit. And I could give it like one turn. Try it again. Better. And you could, unscrew this thing. As much as I can here. A lot lighter, a lot better. Do it just a little bit more, a tad more probably. And there you go. That should be good enough for me. And there you go, now I'm all slicked up. So, only thing you gotta do is mess around with these screws. If you have a new model Winchester, then the tension screw might work for you. I know even some old models just don't have it because people left them loose. because they wanted their gun to be slick, so they just fell out, which is understandable after a few hundred years. And then the mainspring tension screw, you'll have to just play around with it. Like I said, they're not meant to be both super tight. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents here. Play around with your rifle and see what you like.